Let's do some business now on News Desk, and joining me in the studio now is Emmanuel Abuajiri with a lot more business. Emmanuel?
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm sure you have a lot to say about this DKM issue, eh?
Well, of course. I mean, the business desk was particularly, enthused about the fact that the president, tried to assure the public that it is going to actually prosecute non-compliant, microfinance companies who have been involved in this current crisis. But the most important thing, like you heard from some disgruntled companies, is that how
they're going to get their monies back.
Pay the monies back to them. That's the most important
But
thing.
One point I picked from what the gentleman said actually was the fact that he was shocked the president even passed the comment that the president is at a loss as to why intellectuals are saving with these companies.
Well, that's quite unfortunate, but wherever you think you find more money, pay money and get more money.
Indeed.
It's not just normal that you find people drifting to that particular area.
I'm sure you have a lot more business for us.
Yes,
right.
Thank you very much. And in business, President John Mahama has hinted of plans by government to prosecute non-compliant microfinance operators as part of measures to address the current crisis in the sector. The sector has for some time now witnessed some level of turbulence. The Bank of Ghana has withdrawn the licenses of 70 companies, while many depositors, especially in the Brunei region, agitate for their monies invested with affected companies to be paid back to them. Speaking at the press encounter yesterday, President Mahama indicated government is committed to protecting the interests of depositors.
When I saw the category of even some of those who have lost money and been duped in this scheme, I was shocked. Intellectuals, professionals. Yeah. I'll expect that my uncle or somebody, illiterate uncle or somebody in the village, is the one who will fall prey to something like this. But intellectuals, heads of religious institutions, have taken collection and gone and put in. So let's not play politics. Let's not play politics with this. Bank of Ghana will do its best to distribute whatever is available in conjunction with the companies. And I've asked the BNI to look for and identify all their properties. And let's put a lien on those properties so that even if we sell those properties and we get some money, we can still refund money to the people who lost it. But then we're going to prosecute them for fraud. And so they're currently in BNI custody. They've been remanded for a week. We'll go back to court, and the investigation has started. And those who have cheated the people will pay for what they have done.
Well, so that was the strongest indication ever by the president of the assurance to get back, so to prosecute actually those companies involved in the crisis. Now, President Mahama has also assured service providers that the hike in withholding tax imposed on them from 5 to 15% will be reduced to 7.5%. Following the passage of the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896 in September last year, there have been a public outcry on some provisions of the Act, especially those relating to withholding taxes and the provisions of services and the payment of tax on interest paid to individuals. Addressing the press yesterday, President Mahama assured a letter has been submitted to the GRA to review the rates.
There were two laws that taxes that were proposed, but it was noticed, and a letter had already gone to the Speaker stopping them. One was the 1% tax on profits from treasury bills, income from treasury bills. A letter had gone to the Speaker, asking for an amendment of that particular tax. The other one was the increase in tax on services, withholding tax on services to 15%. A letter had already gone reducing that to 7.5%. So I think that issue you talked about, has been dealt with in respect of those particular taxes that people complained about. It had been noticed and a letter had been sent even before the outcry began with regards to that.
Well, so that's about it for business for now. Join me again at midday for more business updates. Keep watching.